this isn't going to work, and so they were going to phase it, and in replacing Obamacare would come the government option, and that was going to be a mandate, and that's how you were going to lose the health insurance that you had. It was designed to fail so as to have the public clamoring for a fix. The way the left do these things, they know you don't want government-run health care. They know you don't want the DCC running health care. They know you never support it, so they design a system, Obamacare, which looks good on paper, got all the great intentions behind it, but then in practice it just doesn't work. Too complicated, too convoluted, and after a while, the American people demand that somebody do something about it. The American people demand it, and the left is there waiting to act on the demand, go full-fledged single payer, and that was the grand design. So one thing happened. Trump got elected, and we were able to get rid of the original personal mandate, and that took the guts out of Obamacare. Now Obamacare is before the Supreme Court on the constitutionality of a whole bunch of it. So they've got their plan on the Democrat side, and it is to take away your health insurance if you get it at work. So just as Biden can sit there and laugh and shake his head when Trump says you're going to destroy oil and gas, when that's exactly what Biden intends to do. Same thing with health care. They make it look like that's outrageous. You think we're going to cancel 160 people's health, but they are. So it really is a mean trick that they're trying to pull off here, all for the sake of government being in control of it, and once again limiting your mobility and limiting your freedom, limiting any kind of option that you might have with your own health care. This is why it was so important, I think, for Trump to continue to run as an outsider, ran for president because of insiders like Biden, ran to reverse course, make America great again, making the point we got to keep the country open while fighting the virus. I mean, there Trump was. He was strong on jobs. He was strong standing up to the Chi-Coms. He was strong on staying out of wars, strong on energy independence. It was such a big thing to brag about. We're now energy independent. We don't need to go into wars, or we don't need to be defensive around any of these other oil-producing countries in the Middle East because we don't need them anymore. He was standing up strong for families, for the oil and the steel industries. And when it comes to the oil industry, by the way, that is America's #1 energy source. And Trump, hey, Texas, did you hear what he just said? Hey, Oklahoma, did you hear what he just said? Hey, Pennsylvania, did you hear what he just said? Hey, Ohio, did you hear what he just said? Who built the cages, Joe? All of these were killer lines. Because Biden's saying he would be shutting down the oil industry, not just fracking. He was going to shut down the whole oil industry. Biden's out there tree-hugging and everything, and Trump is rather playing the role of the adult in the room. And make no mistake, this was a big deal. Biden did promise to shut down the oil industry, not just fracking, and not just fracking on federal land. That's how he tried to slither out of this last night. No. I just meant fracking on federal land. No, he's not just shutting down fracking. They want to shut down the oil industry. That's what the Green New Deal does. That is the foundation of the Green New Deal, is shutting down the oil industry, fossil fuels. We don't have anything to replace it, folks. We don't have an industry of energy that will get big commercial jets off the ground, cargo or passenger. We just don't. We are a long ways from it. We don't have anything, anywhere near anything, to replace oil. I mean, it was a big moment. And there's Trump saying, remember what you just heard, Pennsylvania, Texas, Ohio? Remember that, America? Who built the cages, Joe? Why didn't you fix this when you were... It wasn't that long ago. You 5 years ago, Joe, why didn't you fix the cages back then? I ran because of you, Joe. Biden got a little nervous with that line, actually went after Obama. Biden said he'd get immigration reform done because I'll be president, not vice president. He was even attacking Obama. Well, I'll fix immigration because I'll be president, not vice president. Ooh. Another brief break, and then we get started with your phone calls on Open Line Friday. We're coming right back.
Trusted name in talk radio, Rush Limbaugh on the EIB network. News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM.
This is Larry Marino with Newsmakers, sponsored by Job Creators Network. Today we're talking to Larry Elder, nationally syndicated talk show host and executive producer of the documentary Uncle Tom. Larry, I want to talk with you about the upcoming election. What are your worries?
I worry about the changing voting rules and that our opponents are very good at getting out the vote. I also know that many of Rush's listeners, and mine, and Hannity, Shapiro's, and others, are also worried about the same thing and are asking a very simple question: what can we do to help?
What do you tell them?
Well, I tell them that Election Day is November 3rd, but voting has already begun in many states, or is about to begin. And I tell them that in Ohio, early in-person voting begins 28 days before the election. In Arizona,
listeners do to make a difference?
well, with one visit to keepamerica.com, listeners will get the best, most up-to-date, and trusted voting information. 300,000 have already gone to the site, but we need that number to be 1 million. And while you're there, I urge you to commit to get one person to the polls early or help with their mail-in ballot. That's what listeners can do, Larry. Because whoever shows up wins, and complaining about the results isn't an option. Neither is doing nothing. So do a little, do a lot, do your part. Help save this great country.
To learn more, go to keepamericaamerica.com. To become part of the biggest conservative get-out-the-vote effort ever, go to keepamericaamerica.com now. Wood for land this spring? White's professional tree service has a huge amount of seasoned wood purchase. Top quality and will be delivered on time. White's professional tree service is a locally owned family business for over 30 years. Don't wait until last minute. Call now. 813-7485. Beautifully seasoned wood. 1525 a cord for White's professional tree service. 813-7485.
Days of Halloween. One Story Night, starting October 19th, ending on Halloween. Produced immersive 3D audio that you'll have to hear to believe, and starring Keegan-Michael Key as the caretaker. This, my friends, is Hawthorne. I am music from iHeartRadio and Blumhouse Television. Listen to Aaron Mankey's 13 Days of Halloween on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. El Rushmo on the cutting edge. Got some polling data here, and then we'll get back to the phones. Trump reaches critical 52% approval rate entering the final election stretch. With just 12 days to go before the election, Trump's approval rating has popped to 52%. Now that is considered traditionally and historically the holy grail of re-election numbers. As Rasmussen reports, the president's rating jumped from 49 to 52%. Job approval poll jumped 3 points in the 3-day rolling average. Rasmussen puts out its daily presidential tracking